Hey, everyone. Welcome back. I am Chelsea, the Launch Copy Coach. I'm thrilled to be able to share with you today. Today, we are going to be diving into how my clients create 50 to 100K group program launches as transitioning one on one coaches. All right. So, if you are a one on one coach, hey, Coach Kimball. Hey, Love Nomads. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are a one on one coach, if you have launched a group program before at least once, and if you want to create 50 to 100K group program launch results, stick around. This is the live for you. If this is the first time that you're meeting me, hey, welcome. I help coaches, one on one coaches specifically, replicate their six-figure results inside a group program launch without losing their minds. All right. And so, what I'm going to share with you today is my four-step process for doing that, how the coaches that I work with actually create these kinds of results. So, if that sounds like it might be a good fit for you, if that sounds like, hey, Chelsea, I actually want to create these results, stick around. I'm actually going to be sharing with you all the details of my signature coaching program called Six Figure Synergy today. And so I've been talking about it, I've been mentioning it, but I'm going to dive really deep and kind of explain exactly how it works, how this how this four-step process is employed and implemented inside Six Figure Synergy, and who it's for and who it's not for. So today's live is especially important because I'm diving into the program, one, and then two, because the program actually closes on December 16th. So that's when enrollment closes, and I only have 2 spots left. So if you want to get in, if you're listening to me and you're saying, oh my goodness, I actually really think that this could support me, let me see if I can talk to Chelsea. All you have to do is stick around to hear more, kind of figure out and confirm that this is the program that would make the most sense for you. Ask any questions that you have, and or click the link in my bio so that we can have a conversation, or click the link in this post wherever you're at. All right. So let's dive into this. What is this four-step process? What is this four-step process that I use to help my clients who are one-on-one coaches actually create 50 to 100K group program launch results? So they're transitioning from one-on-one coaching into launching a group program. How do I help them actually create those high dollar results in the midst of that transition? The first step of this process is building their list. And the reason why we do that is because oftentimes they have been launching, have been talking to, have been promoting to the same group of people over the past 3, 6, 12 months. Most times, the coaches that I work with have not been as actively list building as they need to. And so what ends up happening is, what ends up happening is they launched their group program the first time and it did barely okay. They didn't really hit their goal, or they hit their goal and it was kind of like, oh, well, now I want to launch it a second time, but they're not list building. And so they don't realize that if they launch it a second time, they're launching it essentially to the same exact people. They haven't gotten any fresh people into their community, any people who are new to them and have been consistently nurtured by them. And then what that results in is less than stellar launch results. You don't hit your goals. And that's not what I want for you. So the first thing we do is look at your messaging, look at your systems, look at the different list building tools that you have in place to ensure that you grow your list by 50% or more between the time that you start working with me and the time that you launch. Okay? Yes, 50% or more. That is my goal for you, because we want to ensure that you have the numbers you need to hit the goals that you want to hit. You can't be trying to launch to create 50K, 75K, 90K, 100K and have the numbers that have stayed the same for the past 2 years. Something has to change if you want different results. You can't do the same thing and expect different results, right? So that's the first thing we do. That's the first step of the process. We look at your messaging, we look at the lead magnet systems and the guides and all of the resources that you have in place, and we assess, okay, what are people going to respond to the most? What's going to get you the most list building capabilities, what's going to actually get people to sign up and say yes and join your community, so that we can then put a plan in place for nurturing those people. All right. And yes, I just hand you all the templates. Yes, I give you feedback on all the stuff. Yes, nothing is going to pass your desk without passing through mine. Okay. All the emails, all of the lead magnets, all of the landing pages, all of the things I look over for every single one of my clients, because I want to ensure that, one, they feel confident that they are nailing the messaging that they need to nail, and that they are doing everything that they can do in order to create that 50% increase in their list that we talked about, right? And then the second reason why I do that is because I want to ensure that they are being as specific as they need to be in order to create the results that we're looking for. All right. So that's the first process that we use. And we use the systems that you have in place and double down on what's working, because I always believe on doubling down on what's working. The second part of this process is creating your profit-centric, capacity and energy aligned launch funnel. Because here's the thing. A lot of people tell you, and I talked about this in a live a couple of weeks back, a lot of people will tell you, oh, you need to launch this way. You need to have a webinar. You need to have an IG series. You need to have this. You need to have that. I am never going to be the coach who does that. I am never going to be the coach who tells you what your launch strategy is supposed to be without looking at your business at all. So you'll never hear me say, use a webinar funnel or use a challenge, just blanket recommendation without even looking at your business. Never. No. Okay? Because your business already has data. Your business already has information. Your business already has revenue-centric strategies that you are using to create money in your business. And so let's just double down on what's working. You'll hear me say that a lot in this live, okay? Because that at this level, that's what this launch is about. Any launch that you are shooting for 50 to 100K in launch results, it's about doubling down on what's working, optimizing what's working so that you get the best results without doing a whole host of other things, okay? You don't want to do a whole host of other things in order to get the results that you're looking for. Hey, Remy, I think that's you. Hi, welcome. Right? So it's really, really important for us to not only, one, build a list, but two, build a profit focus and energy aligned launch funnel, because you get the profit from looking at your data, right? You get the revenue strategies from looking at your data. But then on top of that, you want to ensure that your capacity is aligned, your energy is aligned. So you're not doing all the things, stressing yourself out, killing yourself, and then don't get the results that you're looking for, or get the results and you can't even enjoy them. You know, I'm all about sustainability around here. You know, I'm all about doing less to create more. And that's what we do when we map out this launch funnel. We create more, but we ensure that you do less and you get the feeling that you need, you get the energy that you need, and you're not draining yourself dry to create these results. That's the second process. The third process is actually running the launch to create the results, right? Because as much as we plan, if we don't actually hit go, nothing will happen. And so we run the launch, but we run the launch in a way where we're tracking everything that's happening, right? So we want to ensure that you're hitting the numbers every step of the way in order to get those results. And if you're not hitting the numbers, what needs to change? Right? Do you want to adjust the goal? Do you want to adjust your actions? Do you want to push a little harder? How will that affect your energy? How will that affect the things that you have going on in your life? These are the questions we ask in this stage, because we're tracking everything. We're tracking how many people sign up every day. We're tracking how many conversations you start every day. We're tracking how many people are actually seeing and hearing from you and responding to you. How often are people actually showing up live on the live events that you have? Like, what's your show up rate? Are you booking calls? Are you booking applications? If not, what do we need to do differently? Or do you want to just adjust the goal and keep going? Like, how do we get curious? How do we ensure that you preserve your own energy and your own wellness and you take care of you, but you're also moving closer and closer toward your goal? This is key in this process. So we have a tracker that's fully personalized and customized to your launch funnel to ensure that all of the numbers that you need to hit, you're hitting. If you're not hitting them, then we get to ask some questions to ensure that, okay, we're taking care of you and we're also taking care of the launch at the same time. Yeah. And then the fourth process that we have in place inside my program, Six Figure Synergy, is analyzing the results from this launch. And not just analyzing them from the perspective of the numbers, but also analyzing them from the perspective of how you felt. How was this launch actually feeling for you? Because the whole goal of running the launch in the third process, the way that we do, is to drastically reduce your stress and overwhelm that you typically experience as you are launching. And so if that didn't happen as much as you wanted it to happen in this launch, because it will happen one way or another, right? It might not have happened all the way that you wanted, but there's a reason for that. And we can talk about that reason and ensure that, okay, next time you launch, maybe you do this differently. And we look at the data and say, okay, if you're shooting for a higher goal next time, you might need to do this, this, and this differently, right? Those are all things that we actually map out. And I like to close the launch, and I like to close working with every client with this process, because now you literally have a roadmap to launch again. I'm not trying to make you depend on me for every single launch. Okay, I'm trying to ensure that you have what you need in order to test, in order to iterate, in order to get results without having to come back to me every single time. Now, hear me. If you come back, I'm not going to say no for two reasons. One, because I more than likely love working with you, because I'm going to share with you in a second who this program is for. It's a very, very detailed and stringent application process. I do not just work with every one-on-one coach transitioning into a group program. And I emphasize this when I talk to people, because I am not like every coach out there who's just going to say yes to everybody who comes through my door. Okay? If I can't help you, if because you don't have something specific in place, I'm going to tell you I cannot help you. All right? But so more than likely, if we've actually worked together, I like working with you. And then the second reason is, the reason why I don't say I'm going to give you a completely stress-free launch, the reason why I don't say I'm going to give you a completely overwhelm-free launch, is that this is a habit that you're rewriting. And I talked about this again in a live that I did a while back. This is a habit and a physiological response that you are changing in your body and in your mind. Okay? It's going to take time to rewrite the habit completely. And so if you come back to me for support for another launch, we will begin to build on the work that we have already started. And actually, in my higher tier program than Six Figure Synergy that I'm talking about today, that's actually a 12-month program to really completely rewrite all of the processes and all of the habits that you've created around hustling and unsustainable launching. But in Six Figure Synergy, you can start to see results in 3 months. Okay, you can create this 50 to 100K group program launch in 3 months and drastically reduce your stress, drastically reduce your overwhelm, and actually feel like, oh, this launch felt so much better than any launch that I've ever had. My clients say that to me all the time, and I love to hear that from them. And so in this analysis that we're doing, in this final process of my whole system that I use in Four Figure Synergy, I ensure that you have what you need to rewrite this habit, if you want to do that, if you want to start to really dive into that on your own, and to launch again on your own to create these results. Okay? So that's how the process works. As a recap, 1, we grow your list by 50%, at least. By 50% or more, so that you actually have new people brought into your community. You get to nurture those people. You get to build relationships with those people, so that you have people to move into the next level with, move into the next launch with. 2, we create your profit-focused, energy-aligned launch funnel that's going to actually get you the results that you're looking for without the stress that you want to avoid, right? 3, we actually run the launch, and we track every single stage of it. We track all the numbers, so that you can know, yeah, I'm on my way to creating this launch goal that I had of between 50 and 100K. And yes, I am also drastically reducing my stress and overwhelm and taking care of myself and not putting my whole life on hold along the way. And then 4, after the launch is complete, after you've hit your goal, after you feel really, really good about all of the changes that you've put in place, now it's time to analyze what worked really well, what did you love, what didn't work so well, what do you want to change? Right? So that you literally have a launch roadmap to do this yourself, again, if you want to, or to come back to me and have us execute it together. All right. So this is the process that I use. This is the system of 4 processes that I use inside Six Figure Synergy. Now to talk about some logistics, like how is this delivered? How does it all work, Chelsea? Break it down for me. If all of that sounds like something that you'd want to be a part of, it's over the course of 3 months. Hey, Elizabeth, it's over the course of 3 months. And so if you wanted to sign up with me, you would have to be able to commit to a 3-month process. I am not the coach who you can come to 1 month before your launch and ask me to work with you. No, I can't help you. Your next launch, maybe, but not this one. There is too much to do. There's too much work to optimize. There's too much to refine. There's too much to rewrite in your mind and actually double down on in your business for me to say to you, yeah, 1 month is fine. No, you've got to be willing to input 3 months. So this is a 3-month process. Yeah. You work with me one-on-one for now. I'm going to be changing that next year. That's why you need to get it now if you want the one-on-one attention. All right, because this is changing next year. But for now, this is a one-on-one program. So you work with me one-on-one to create these results. As I said earlier, every single launch asset that you create passes my desk, gets my eyes on it. Your sales page, your webinar slide deck if you're using a webinar, your lead magnet because we're list building, your emails because all of the emails need to be on point. Okay, we want people opening those emails, clicking through on those emails. Every single asset, every single piece of content, every single piece of copy, everything you create in this launch, you get my eyes on, because I want to ensure that you are as specific and resonant as you need to be in your messaging, and that you have the confidence to put this out there. Because sometimes we don't feel like, we wonder about whether or not what we're saying is actually legitimate, is actually making sense. Chelsea, are people going to actually respond to this? So you need that reassurance sometimes, and sometimes you're in your own head and too close to your own work. And so you get my eyes on every single piece of content, copy, everything that's coming out in this launch. So in terms of logistics, 3 months, one-on-one, you do get bi-weekly calls with me. We talk extensively via email. So I send you a ton of feedback via Loom, via Google Docs, so that you have everything that you need to make this work for you. And I'm always accessible via email if you need me. All right. So logistically, that's how it works. I also, from time to time, might send you a couple video trainings that will help you to more clearly understand a concept or a topic that we're talking about, so that you can execute the launch more effectively and more sustainably. So you don't, kill yourself trying to create this launch of 50 to 100K, because we don't want that, right? So that's kind of logistically how the flow happens, how it works. So if you start, let's say, for example, you decided that you wanted to work with me now, we start in December. We would start with a bit of an accelerated process, because there is the holiday and I'm taking like 2 weeks off, 2.5, 3 weeks off. So we would start with a bit of an accelerated process. We'd stay in touch by email over the holiday. And then in January, we'd really hit the ground running. So you would launch at the end of February or beginning of March. Yeah. So if that timeline is something that you're thinking of, now's the time to book in. If you wanted to launch in January, sorry, boo-boo. The time to work with me if you wanted to launch in January would have been November, early November. Okay, because that 3-month timeline is extremely important. So who is this for? Now that I've broken down the logistics of this, who is this for? One, it's for somebody who's willing to commit to that 3-month time frame. You see, I'm stressing that, because a lot of people don't think about a coach, don't think about a launch coach until they're one month away from their launch or less, or they're in the middle of it and it's not quite going well. I can't save you. I am not your launch savior. Okay. You are ultimately responsible for your own results. I will work with you and give you everything that I can to ensure that you hit those results. But that means that you have to be willing to show up for a time frame that makes the most sense to create those results. So that's 3 months. 2, your offer is priced at 2K or more. Yeah. If your offer is priced at less than 2K, this is not going to make any sense. It's too much. All right. When I say too much, I mean it's going to take too much for us to create 50 to 100K with an offer that's priced at $1,500. Your offer has to be at 2K or more if you want to have a group program launch with me, not saying with any other coach, with me, that's between 50 to 100K. Okay? That's the second person who it's for. 3, you have to have launched this group program at least once before now. All right? Because I need the data from that launch. If you haven't launched it at all before now, then it's not going to make sense for us to work together. And I can't actually look at you and confidently tell you that I can help you create 50 to 100K because I ain't got no numbers from you, right? Like data and numbers are so crucial in the work that I do. And I can't confidently tell you, hey, yes, this is likely to work based on these numbers if I have no numbers. So if you haven't launched your group program before and this is all sounding great and this is the one thing that you're missing, go launch in January and we'll circle back and talk in March or February, okay? Because I need those numbers and you need them too, because the confidence, the reason why I can say that I help my clients replicate their 6-figure results in a group program launch is because I look at your data. It's because I have the numbers and have run the numbers, then I can say to you, hey, yeah, this is gonna make sense because this is these are the people in your community. This is what your conversion rate was last time. This is what the goal that we want to hit now. And so this is going to make sense for us to do it this way. That's the only way I can confidently say that is if I have the numbers for you. All right. So you have to have at least launched this one time. You also need to know your conversion rate because we actually talk about that on the call. And the only way that I say yes to you is if your conversion rate makes sense for the goal that you want to hit. So if on the call your conversion rate doesn't make sense for the goal, I'm going to tell you I can't help you. Okay? That's literally what it comes down to. You have to know your conversion rate because I have to be able to confidently say, yes, 6-figure synergy can help you to create that result. I have done enough. I have done enough over promising and under delivering with other clients before creating this process. And if you are a coach, you know what this is like. You trust your process so much, right? And you believe in your process and you're passionate about working with people. And then you overpromise, hey, Genesis, I didn't see you up on there. And then you overpromise and you underdeliver. Because you were so excited about working with the people that you were working with. You so wanted to help them get results, not realizing, oh yeah, I didn't actually limit who I was trying to work with. And I thought I could work with everybody. And so I promised everyone this result and didn't help them get it. We don't want that life. I've had enough of that life. I'm sure you've had enough of that life of coaches saying to you that they could get you results and then didn't. I'm not doing that again. I'm sure you don't want a coach who does that. And so that's why you need to also know your conversion rate when you get on the call with me. Yeah? Because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to assess, yes, these numbers make sense. Yes, we can work together. Right? 5th thing is you need to have 1 to 2 reliable sources of traffic. And the reason for this is so that the list building that we do first thing can actually create results. Because if you don't have 1 to 2 reliable sources of traffic, where are the people going to come from? And this doesn't have to be ads. This can be Instagram. This can be your podcast. This can be your blog. This can be Pinterest. This can be TikTok. This can be anything. But you have to have 1 to 2 reliable sources of traffic. That is the only way that we can actually get the people in to build your community so that when we are ready to launch, we actually have a group of people to launch to. That's fresh and new and being actively nurtured. Because if you don't have that, then I cannot actually look at you again and confidently say, yes, these numbers are going to work. Okay? So you need to have these 5 things in place. I'll recap. 1 is you need to be willing to invest 3 months because I'm not here for the people who, I'm not the coach for you. All right. There are other coaches out there. I'm not the coach for you if you want to launch next month and you're coming to me. It's not going to work. That's not how my process works. 2, you need to have an offer priced at 2K or more. It's going to be too much work and it's going to basically wring yourself dry trying to create 50 to 100K group program launch results from a $1,500 price program. It's just going to be too much. Okay. Even 2K is at the lower level. Honestly, I'd want it more at like 3,500, but we can talk about that because usually I make my clients raise their prices. And we've got a question here actually. So I'll move into the third qualifying factor is having 1 to 2 reliable sources of traffic. What does a reliable source of traffic look like? How many emails per day? Well, it doesn't really depend on emails per day as much as you can say that in the past, when you have used this particular platform or this particular source of traffic, you have gotten a steady source of leads. Like people have come in, either that is all at once or they've trickled in over time. So let's say you have a blog and you know that every month you have 50 people coming through from your blog, right? And you know that because you've seen the data over time. Great. If you know that you did a summit or you did a podcast interview and you got like 100 people on your email list all at one time, that counts too, right? They can all come in all at once or they can trickle in. Bottom line, you know that if you do this thing and use this platform, these are the results that you're able to get. And it's like a lever that you can push. It's like a button where you just say, I'm ready for leads, boing. And you know they're going to come because you've proven it over time. Does that make sense? Does that answer that question? Leads equal email signups. Yes, leads are email signups. Leads equal people giving you their email address and joining your email list. I hope that answers and clarifies that question for you. So willing to invest 3 months, offer price at 2K or more, have 1 to 2 reliable sources of traffic. You need to have launched it once before, right? Because I need the dollars, I need the data, I need the numbers. I need you to know what it feels like to launch it so that we can talk about whether that's sustainable for you or not. And if it's not, how can we do differently? And then I also need you to know your past conversion rate so that we can actively assess whether or not these numbers make sense for you even before we start working together. That's one of the first questions that we assess on the call is, okay, what are your launch goals? What was your conversion rate? How many people do you have on your list right now? And I just crunch the numbers and tell you, okay, that launch goal makes sense. 6-figure synergy can help you, or that launch goal doesn't make sense. 6-figure synergy is not for you. All right. So glad I answered that question. Beautiful. If it doesn't make sense, let me know. And if you want more examples, I can give that as well. All right. So let's say you listen to all of this and you say, Chelsea, this sounds amazing. This sounds awesome, Genesis. Genesis and I are working together on her messaging and her copy for Evergreen Funnel. She's going to work on her sales page with my feedback. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see that sales page, friend, because we've been working on it and it's been getting so good, y'all. And this is the kind of feedback that I give my clients inside 6-figure synergy. Genesis is actually getting a sneak peek of that because, as I said, every single piece of content and copy that you create for your launch, my eyes are literally on it. I want to give you that confidence and I want to ensure that you're being that specific. Oh, thanks, my friend. She says, hire Chelsea. She's the best copy coach ever. Thank you. All right. Another question here. Do you help with the process of figuring out what emails to send, when to send them, what to say? 100%. Absolutely. I literally sometime, like the other day, I have a client who I just gave her welcome sequence. I just handed her a welcome sequence and said, here, these are what the emails need to say. This is the subject line. This is the template that I need you to follow. And all of these are personalized templates. And so if that's what you want, yes, that's what I help you with. And it's not just the emails too, right? If you're doing a webinar, we look at the landing page, we look at the slide decks. Yes, that's on my to-do list to review your emails as well. So all of that feedback is what you're going to receive, all of that hands-on one-on-one attention. Because like I said, this program is a one-on-one program for now. That'll change next year. So if you want a one-on-one attention, now's the time to get it. But yes, you do get that support from me. All right. So if all of that sounds like a good fit for you, if you've checked all of those boxes and you've heard me say who it's for, and that feels aligned for you, you are ready to grow your list by 50% or more, you are ready to create your profit-focused, energy-aligned launch funnel, you're ready to launch with 50 to 100K booked revenue without the stress and the overload, and you're ready to ensure that you are ready to sustainably scale after this process after this launch, then six-figure synergy is for you, my friend. And I'm super excited to talk with you about it. So what do you need to do? What should you do if you check all those boxes, if all of that sounds good to you? All you have to do is, if you're on Instagram, click the link in my bio, book a time to talk with me. If you are on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, the link is either in the description box or in the caption of this post. Click the link, book a time to talk with me. That's it. All right. From there, I'm going to send you all the details about what you need to do before our call, because there are a couple things that I do want to get some questions answered about from our call, and a couple steps before that call. So book a time to talk with me. Let's have the conversation. Let's see if you're a good fit. Because like I said, if you're not, I'm going to tell you. But if I can help you, I'll be thrilled to help you. All right. I love working one-on-one with you too, my friend. Jenny says, thank you so much for the kind comments. I deeply appreciate them. All right, y'all. So does anybody have any final questions on six-figure synergy? Let me check the comments real quick. Do you have any final questions for me? Is all of this making sense? If it is, I hope to see you on that call. No, you're not wasting your time. So if you do want to talk with me and you want to launch earlier than 3 months, right? Let's have a conversation, because six-figure synergy might not be for you, but maybe I can just have a launch consult with you where we just hammer out some things, get some stuff sorted. Maybe I can even share like a VIP day option. It depends on like what's the best fit for you at the time. All right. Six-figure synergy might not be for you, but there might be something else and another way that I can support you if you meet other requirements that would be helpful for you to meet, for me to be able to say I can help you. Right. So book the call if you're not sure. If it's one box out of all of these that you haven't checked, book the call. Or if you've got questions, you can always DM me as well, and we can talk about whether or not you should book the call. Cool? All right. You are very, very welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. I have so appreciated all of you sticking around. I've loved answering all of these questions. I've loved sharing more about six-figure synergy, about the 4 processes that I walk my clients through and how I help them create results. I look forward to talking with you more on that call. As I said, the link is either in the caption or in the link in my bio. So go ahead and book it, and we will talk again soon. Have a great one, y'all.